Having experienced both public and private high schools, I have been able to experience both sides of the spectrum. While public schools allow for more distraction in the classroom and little enforcement on rules, private schools are doing just the opposite. The enforcement on rules has allowed in private schools for students to concentrate with little or no distraction, and the involvement in many activities has certainly allowed for bigger and better opportunities. Private schools have opened up many opportunities for students rather than at public schools because private schools' strong curriculum and the education and the ability for more extracurricular activities has allowed for students to become much more involved. The education at private schools is more able to prepare you for college versus public schools where they don't focus as much on core subjects as private schools do. Also, the class sizes in private schools are much smaller than the ones in public schools, so therefore students are allowed to have more one-on-one time with their teachers, so that helps for students to get more involved in their classroom, and for the strict enrollment at private schools, which has allowed for kids to be more on the same level of education. Extracurricular activities at private schools allow for bigger opportunities because they are not as competitive, and also there's more class activities put together at private schools, so you are allowed to become closer to your friends and you spend more time with each other. Friendships are also a good opportunity or better opportunity at private schools because your class sizes are smaller, therefore there are less stereotypes, and also friendships at private schools become much closer just because the class sizes are smaller, so you're around those people more and you spend much more time with them. Private schools also have much more enforcement on rules and regulations, such as dress code in private schools. We had to wear a uniform, which I wore this plaid skirt, which the girls could choose between a plaid skirt, a khaki skirt, or khaki pants every day. And boys and girls both had to wear a blazer in the wintertime when it was cold. And girls and boys could choose between any colored Oxford or a striped Oxford. Also, the rules on dress code help a lot at private schools because they take away distraction in the classroom, which helps for better education. And the dress code also allows for kids to be much less judgmental, and they don't have to worry about the people judging them and everything. And lastly, the enforcement on rules is much more strict because at private schools they have a dean which rules over all of the dress codes and things like that, and then they also have a higher person who runs pretty much just everything dealing with the students, whereas at public schools you only have a principal to enforce the rules. Also, parents in private schools are much more involved than at public schools because they become more involved with activities because they are paying an expensive tuition, so they want to be more involved in their kids since they're spending so much money on their education. Also, kids focus more on their education knowing that their parents are paying a tuition because they know that it means a lot to their parents, and parents are more focused on their kids' academics and what's going on because they know that if their children aren't doing well in school, then they are not going to want to pay for the expensive tuition. Also, parents are much more involved in their kids' activities, and this has drawn families in private schools much closer together because all of the parents are involved together and the families grow much closer. Now that I have told you about both public and private schools and the positive arguments about private schools, I hope that if you are given the opportunity to attend a private school, I hope that you do so because a private school has been an awesome choice for me to prepare me for college and further things in life.